Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Well, if my technology is working correctly, you're looking at me right now, and I'm going to be sharing some really, really powerful information with you tonight. So, you've come here because you want to know how it is possible to create a 6 or 7 figure income as a business consultant. Well, over the next hour or so, I'm going to be sharing with you some just proven principles that I've been using over and over again to help many individuals do just that. But I've got some pretty interesting questions to start off with that might make you raise your eyebrows, ladies and gentlemen. And so let's start, shall we? Let's have some fun. And now, now, just bear with me. I'm running solo tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So if you've got questions, have a look in your chat box and put your questions in there, and I'll look there periodically to see where they are, and I'll speak to those questions as best I can. So I'm doing 2 or 3 things at once tonight. So anyway, let's have some fun. And again, you got some questions, look in the chat box, put it in there, and I'll be happy to answer them for you because I want interaction, guys. And by the way, tonight I'm going to be turning you into honorary business consultants. So we'll be having a bit of fun with that. So now, oops, there we go. Got a few messages coming in here now. It's all looking good. Fantastic. All right, got to kick it in. So why are you here tonight, ladies and gentlemen? All right, now this might be a strange question. You're probably saying, well, because I want to learn how to be a business consultant and see what's involved with that. Well, I want to put something else to you, a contrary thought, and that is you're probably not here because you want to be a business consultant. There's a very, very good chance that you're here because of what a business consulting thing can do for you. If you can learn to be a business consultant, that's going to provide benefits for you. It's got a potential for you to be able to do other things in your life. So what do I mean by that? Well, you might be wanting to help other people. I mean, that's a lot of my motivation these days when I do what I do. I love seeing the success of others. Now, I also like getting paid very well for what I do, and I love the freedom that I get and the personal development because you actually get paid to learn in this game. But there's a reason why I'm sharing these thoughts with you guys, and it's a real learning curve. So I hope you're already taking notes because I really want to teach tonight. I really want you to learn some key principles that will help you achieve even higher levels of success. So essentially, why are you here? I can tell you 99 out of 100, it's not because you want to be a business consultant. It's because you want the benefits of what perhaps being a world-class business consultant can bring you. Are you with me there? Let me give you a more personal example. So you see this beautiful picture here. This is our swimming pool and our entertainment area on our property. Now, we've got this beautiful property. One of my large motivations for having a beautiful property is because I've got the most wonderful daughter in the world. Her name is Brooke, and she's now 16. And so I wanted to have an environment where my daughter could actually hang around with her friends and have a cool environment and do cool stuff. But what I didn't want to do was not have that cool area because if my daughter's 16, I actually want to know where she is. Yeah, you know, you were all teenagers at one time yourself. So that was part of my why, if you like, or one of my reasons for having a beautiful place so that my daughter's friends could hang out here rather than on the street somewhere. That was a goal. Are you with me there? So that was one of the benefits. How do you provide these things? Well, you obviously need to have the income to be able to do these types of things. So in your case, it may be you want a nicer home or holidays, or you want to put more money into retirement or charitable causes. Clarity is the key. And why am I kicking this how to be a business consultant off with talking about your thoughts and getting clarity on what you want? Because this is the real thing that will motivate you. This is the real thing that will help you do what you know you need to do, even when you don't feel like doing it. Is anybody following me there? Well, let me just quote something here. And this is a pretty powerful thing when I first heard it from Tony. Pretty cool dude. Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. Now, as you can tell from the amount of hair that I don't have anymore, I've been around for a while. And when I understood the power of goal setting and getting clarity on what you really want, and more importantly, realizing it was possible to get it, that was when I went from struggling and making sort of $50,000 a year as an electrical contractor to really, creating some incredible things. I'll tell you about that in a second. So again, understand, why are you here tonight? What is it you're really wanting to achieve? I know you're probably looking for a better business vehicle or a better way to improve your income, but there's a deeper reason, ladies and gentlemen. If you're honest enough with yourself to understand that reason, that's where you're going to get the big payday. So let us get stuck into this for the education side. This is where the business side comes in. So we're going to take you for a behind the scenes look at building a consulting business. What's involved, what's necessary, what sort of dollars there are that you can make out of this industry, and also what is the investment that's required for you to succeed in this game. I'm just going to call the shots straight as an arrow, guys. Those of you that have known me for a while know that that's how I like to operate. So here's the thing. This is the only business model that I know of that gives you the ability to be able to generate an incredible income with low capital, low overheads, little to no staff, no qualifications. I mean, you really do have the ability to generate a 6 or 7 figure income by being a business consultant. And if anyone knows any other industry where you can achieve that without having the high capital costs and high staff, et cetera, please let me know. I'd be very interested. So who's this for? Well, could be for project managers like Peter, or builders like Scott, or single mothers like Saffron, or business owners like Matt that had 60 staff working for him, or salespeople like Saffron, or real estate trainers like Glenn Twiddle, or horse trainers like my friend Jarno from Belgium, or maybe executives that are overworking those long hours and not getting the recognition and want to do it for themselves, like Tracy Navette, or engineers like Mark. In other words, you name it, whatever background, I've probably trained them. And the real thing that this is for is people that are serious about having a great business for themselves, and B, a great income, but also C, they love helping people succeed. Okay, so that's really the reality. Now, who's it not for? Well, it's for anyone that thinks the world owes them a living and they don't need to put the effort in to succeed. So if that's you and you think, oh, well, I'll get this thing, it's meant to be really good, but I don't really want to work that hard for it, this is probably not the training for you. And every chance that you're probably better off spending an hour somewhere else and not here, guys. So now I just want to get, let's just check in the chat box, guys. Just tell me, where is my chat box actually, which would be cool. Put some messages into chat and tell me that you can hear me and we're coming through loud and clear. Can you do that for me? Where are we? We've got chat there. So tell me where you're from, who you are. Can you hear me? Am I talking to the world or am I talking to myself? Say hello, guys, and just pop it into the chat box in your menu. Can you do that for me? Let's just see where people are coming from. Harvey, Fremantle, WA, Colleen. How are you, Colleen? Oh, good to hear. And you can see my screen on my PowerPoints, and you can see that incredible example of a man there. I hope you can, guys. Good. Well, at least we're coming through loud and clear. And, we've got Tracy New. Hi, Tracy. Great to see you on the call. All right. So let's continue, shall we? So guys, look, as I said, I'm just a straight shooter. I've been around for a long time, and I can tell you firsthand, for you to get real results out of something, you actually need to put real effort into it. And I just saw Tracy New say hello to me. Now, that's a lady that has built some amazing businesses, but I tell you, she didn't do it sitting on her backside. She did it because she put her head down and her backside up and made some real successes from that. Now, I've got a disclaimer for you here. I can't promise you're going to make money with what I teach you here because I don't know you. And I'm sure as hell not going to be doing your push-ups for you. Okay, I do know that what I'm about to share with you works. And I can tell you hand on heart that there's not one person that I can point to that has followed my system as described and executed the strategies as I've asked them to and put that work in, that hasn't succeeded and gotten results? Not one. And it's pretty well the 80-20 rule. So the success rate from the students that I've trained is well over 80%, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very proud of that. Now, the other 20%, well, not even 20%, it's probably about 17% of people that actually haven't made a go of it. Sadly, it's because of reasons, well, procrastination perhaps might be the best way to put it, and the polite way to put it. But the bottom line is, if there's a proven model and it works for other people and you do the same thing that they do, don't you think there's a fairly good chance you're going to get a similar result? Well, obviously the answer is yes. So it's time to hook in, guys. Grab pen, paper, grab a cup of coffee and caffeine if you want to. Get your partner to grab it for you if they're not watching it. And it's time for you to learn some really cool skills. Now, I've got a gift for you as well. And this is for everybody that stays till the end of the training, because I don't want you to miss out on anything I'm going to be teaching you tonight. So it's a copy of my latest book, The Inconvenient Truth About Business Success. I'm told it's a good read. And so I've put my life story into there, all the strategies of how I've built 5 multi-million-dollar companies, how I've built great teams, the marketing strategies I've implemented, the way I've gotten that team together, et cetera, and how I managed to let people rip me off for every cent that I possessed. Okay, so it's all in there, warts and all. Hope you enjoy the book. And I'll send that physical copy to you. Yes, a real thing with pages so you can turn it and feel it and touch it instead of just a digital copy. It's $27 at Dymocks, but I'll send it to you. Just wait till the end. That's all you got to do, and I'll shoot that through. Time to get started, guys. Now, this is not going to be one of those webinars where I spend 70% of the time telling you how wonderful I am and then 30% of the time trying to sell you some weird product. I'm probably going to use just one slide. I'm going to give you a biography of what I've done. From there, you can decide whether you should spend the hour listening and learning from me or whether you can use that time other places. But I can tell you here and now, it's very good advice for you to only listen to people that have a proven track record. So I'm going to give you my bio in about 30 seconds, and that'll be all you'll hear about me, because then we're going to be talking about you, which is what this is all about. So my name, Ian Marsh. Yes, I know I'm incredibly handsome. For 15 years, I struggled, and I was making around about $50K a year if I was lucky as an electrical contractor. The year 2000, I met my first mentor. His name was Mal, actually, and he started teaching me sales and marketing skills. And I tell you what, that really helped me dominate my marketplace. I got a disproportionate share of the available market. And so by 2003, I had one of the largest air conditioning companies in Australia. I was kicking backside, and my ego grew as quickly as my bank account, guys. I tell you. However, around 2005, 2006, I went bankrupt. My staff worked out a really, really devious way to rip me off for a lot of money. And sadly, I lost everything that I possessed. Why am I telling you that? This is some guy that's going to say to you, hey, you can make all this money as a consultant, and yet I went bankrupt. Well, I've got nothing to hide, guys, because I've got no hidden agenda here. I'm just calling it as it is. If you don't know what you don't know, you better get to know it. So I mastered the art of sales and marketing and got extremely good at that, but I didn't master the art of business. And so even though I wouldn't wish bankruptcy on my worst enemy, it was, in all honesty, the best thing that could have happened to me, because these days I simply go in and I have X-ray vision, and I can pick up on things very quickly that are happening in a business and save those business owners from the devastation I went through. So again, pretty sad, but here's the thing. Once you got that knowledge in your head, no one can take it away from you. So theoretically, you can never be broke again. And so I went on to build quite a few more large companies, and in the end, I've done well over $70 million in my company. So hopefully that's a good enough resume for you. And you say, well, gee, if he can do it and he's a C grade student, maybe I can do it too. I'm hoping so. So I'm hoping everyone didn't just leave me once I shared that story, but there you go. That's the truth. So what are you going to learn tonight? Well, 3 things that every successful business must have. You're going to cover off on that. How it's possible for you to make a 6 or 7 figure income as a business consultant. Yes, it's going to be true, and you'll probably come to that realization. Why most people don't make a 6 or 7 figure income. And again, I just have to call the spade a spade. So I'm going to reveal that to you as well. but more importantly, what you can do about that so that you can start making the income you want, okay? So let's start off first with the critical things that every business must have, no exception. So, and even if you're not going to end up getting into being a business consultant as a business vehicle, these principles will apply to any business that you may be thinking of investing. Please ignore this at your peril. It will be hazardous to your wealth if you do. So, number one, every business you should, when you're looking at getting into it, must have a reliable, predictable, affordable lead generation system proven to work. It must have a very powerful sales system so that you know when you go out and you do 10 proposals or you go and see 10 prospects or clients, you're going to get a predictable result from that. And it must have a great delivery system. In other words, you've got to be able to keep your promises. Especially in this day and age, ladies and gentlemen, there's one thing that all of you have. That's your reputation. And you must do everything you can to protect it. So if you don't deliver on your promises, you will hurt your reputation and it will come and bite you in the backside. So whatever industry or business you might be looking at, tick those three boxes. Say, where is that lead generation system? Where is that sales system? And how effective is the way that your company delivers on its promises? So I'll obviously be speaking to business consulting in here and tell you about our strategies and systems. But again, I cannot stress, if you're looking at any other opportunity, make sure you ask at least those three questions as you're considering investing in it. So let's talk about me. Let's talk about our systems, our favorite topic. Lead generation systems, the ability to generate leads. Many of you out there are probably going, well, I don't know anything about marketing. I don't know how to get leads. Well, you don't know yet because you're not street smart yet, but we fix that and you'll find out more about that later. But how about you had 19 plug and play proven marketing lead generation strategies handed to you that have been proven to work and they're tested in the field. This is tried and true field tested marketing strategies that I use and my students use right now to get amazing results. If you had those same marketing strategies and you sent them out the same way that we do, wouldn't you get the same results that we get? Of course you would. So let me reveal something to you. So again, in the next 10 minutes, you're going to learn a strategy that's so powerful. I tell you what, I actually charge people thousands and thousands of dollars for what I'm about to give to you for free here. So it's so powerful, you're going to be able to generate leads at will just with this one strategy. And this isn't our most powerful strategy, but it is one of the strategies that we teach you. So imagine everything that we do, start off with, it passes the grandma test. It has to pass the grandma test for it to be in our system. What do I mean by grandma? Well, I mean that if we handed this to grandma and say, grandma, can you do this, please? They are able to follow the step, and grandpa, this is equal opportunity here, okay? Grandma or grandpa, follow these steps, can you? So that you can get this out to the world for us. And the grandma test is like this. So we have a contact, this is just part of it, a contact strip, an intro letter, the marketing piece. These things, you'll notice 1, 2, 3. Why are these numbers here? 1, 2, 3. Well, they are there because that's the order of you doing them. You go order 1, 2, and 3. So here's a marketing strategy that'll work for just about, if you got consultants on here, guys, well, here you go. You're going to learn a really powerful strategy right here and now, even without being part of our environment. So you see here a flow chart, ladies and gentlemen, and that flow chart takes you through each step that you follow to get the predictable results that we want. So step 1, identify your target market. Who you want to do business with? And we've got a system for doing that. Obtain the prospect's name by using the word script for getting the contact's name. So we have a script for that. Enter the contact names in your database. Okay, so we make sense of that. Merge the contact details with the fictitious letter. Okay, I can do that. And put it with the framed business chronicle. If the prospect does not respond within 3 to 5 days, follow up with another script, the newspaper front page follow-up script. Oh. If the prospect responds and is interested, schedule a telephone meeting using the qualifying questionnaire. Do we have it? Yes, we do. We've got a qualifying questionnaire when you're talking to your prospects, because not all prospects are created equal, ladies and gentlemen. If they're interested, schedule a telephone meeting utilizing the qualifying questionnaire. Refer to the systematic approach to the consulting process. Okay? Again, very simple steps. So here's what it looks like. Number 1, here's a script. So we've worked out what industry we want to be dealing with. And so we want to get the prospect's name and their details so we can send them our marketing pieces. So you use this script for getting the contact's name. Good morning. My name's Ian. I've got a consultancy check that I need to get over to you. Can you confirm your mailing address for me? I have 123 Dream Parade, Surfers Paradise. Is that correct, or do you have a separate mailing address? Oh, and by the way, can you tell me the owner's complete name so I can make sure this is made out correctly? Oh, fantastic. Thanks very much. I'll get this in the mail right away. Bang. You have the decision maker's name, because the gatekeepers don't want to say no to a check. And we've got other variables to the script. So if they want to say, what's this about? Or if it's the owner that answers, or whatever it may be, we have variations to that. So number one, we've got the flow to go through. Number two, we've now got the name of the person. And then we have our marketing piece, and it gets delivered in a very special way, top secret, to the decision maker, because we now have their address, we now have their name, etc., etc. What is this amazing marketing piece? Well, what I want all of you to do right now, because I want engagement here, guys. And again, I'll be checking in the chat box when I work out where those controls are. I'll be checking in the chat box quite religiously to see if you got any questions. But what I want you to do is put yourself in the spot of you are a business owner right now, and you've gotten something in the mail. It looks quite extraordinary, very interesting, and you're wondering what the heck it is. And so you're about to open it. And so the big reveal occurs. And here it is. You're at your office desk and you get this in the mail. You go, and it's got not my incredibly handsome face, but imagine that it has your face there right now. And if you're a lady, well, it'll have a beautiful lady's body on there. And just imagine it says, and we'll call him John Smith, named Outstanding Entrepreneur of the Year. Shareholders thrilled, competitors stunned as company profits double in less than 12 months. And they're shaking hands with the Prime Minister. Now, there's a lot of variables here. Oh, God. I mean, how many Prime Ministers ago is it now for Tony Abbott? So we won't even go there. But so can you see, if you're a business owner and you receive this, and it's got your name in lights, and it's got your picture here, and you're shaking hands with a celebrity, perhaps, if you don't want to use politicians, etc. And you've got world-class copy here, and it looks like it came straight out of a paper. How many of you would love that? Pop it in the chat box. How many of you would absolutely love getting that piece of marketing in the mail? Tell me now, because I'm going to give you some stats in a second. So, and is that clear? I want to make sure everybody's alive out there and they're seeing all of this. So can you see that marketing piece, guys? Pop it into the chat box so you can see that and you understand how it works. Who's impressed so far? Thanks, Tracy. Hey, Colleen. Oh, boy. There you go. Thanks. There's some pretty cool comments there. So yeah, they get that. But it ain't over yet, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, I did go to Trinity, so I do know how to speak correctly. So here we go. We get up to a 30% response rate just from this one strategy. Now, with that picture frame comes this incredible letter. Okay, I won't go right through the whole thing, but it's a very powerful sales letter. And if any of you understand the power of copywriting, then you'll understand the benefit of having world-class copy. And you'll notice the number 2 down below, so you know that it's the second step in there. So that goes with the picture frame as well. So you've just received that picture frame. You've got an incredible sales letter there that's gone with it. And from there, we then have a follow-up script. Hi, and it might be, hi, this is Ian, put me through to John. Might be your prospect, John Smith. Well, what's it about? Yes, I'm following up on the newspaper article I sent him the other day. Tell him it's Ian from Street Smart Business School. He should be expecting my call. Who's getting excited? Who's seeing the power of this right now? Pretty cool. So I want to just speak to you. Remember, there were 3 things that I said that you needed with a business. One was a lead generation system. Now, this was just one. It's not even our best one, but this was just one of our lead generation systems, and it regularly returns a 30% response rate, although I'm not making any promises there. So it does have a lot to do with execution. But if you've got a lead generation system that can give you response rates of 20 to 30% on your marketing, well, you've got an affordable, reliable, predictable lead generation system. You've got a third of your model ticked off. Who's with me on this? I hope you are. So now we need to have a strong sales system because they've shown interest. They put their hands up. They're going, oh, my goodness, that's fantastic. So we get into a conversation with them, and now we're going to start talking about the sales. All right. So here's some reality for you, ladies and gentlemen. Did you know that only 39% of businesses in Australia are profitable? And that's not me making that number up. That's actually Australian Bureau of Statistics. Only 39% of businesses are profitable. So that means there's a lot of people out there that don't know how to get a client or keep them, or don't know how to run an efficient business. This is great news for us, ladies and gentlemen. There's something I'm going to speak to later on called maths and psychology. This is incredible psychology for us because there's a hungry crowd there. There's a massive demand. There's over 2 million businesses. I think it's like nearly 2.2 million businesses in Australia. Well, that's a lot of businesses that need our help. If you work out that 60% of them aren't making money. So you come along and you say, hey, listen, I may just be able to help you here. I have some answers. Do you think that the business owner might be interested in those answers? Well, of course they would be. Okay, so let's just, again, you are the business owner. As I'm talking to you right now, I want you sitting in that seat and experiencing this. Imagine you got a business and your profits are down, your sales aren't where you want them to be, you haven't got answers, you don't know what you don't know, so you do need help. If only someone had the answer. And then I come to you and I say, hey, listen, John, look, if you give me $30,000, I'll give you $300,000. Would you like that deal? Now, ladies and gentlemen, assuming a few things, assuming that John trusts me or you trust me, that I'm not a fly-by-nighter, assuming that I had credibility, assuming that I had a guarantee, and so I've just minimized and reversed the risk for you, would you take that deal? Who'd say yes? Pop it in the chat box. If I said, right, I'll give you $30,000, sorry, you give me $30,000 and I'll give you $300,000 back. How many of you take that deal? Pop it in the chat box for me. Let me know, because I want to know you guys are interested in making money. Well, that's right. Of course you're going to take that deal if you knew that it was going to be real. So what you're looking at here, this is a powerful positioning tool. Now, right at the beginning, I said that I was happy to give you a real copy of my book, The Inconvenient Truth About Business Success. One of those inconvenient truths, I told you straight up front, you've got to do some work. It's called work for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't want to do the work, then you don't really deserve the success and the rewards that come with it. But that positioning tool, there's some people on this call right now because of my book, okay, The Inconvenient Truth. Now, if you hand this book to somebody, can you imagine your perception from their eyes? You're perceived as the expert and the authority. And we don't just stop there, by the way. I'll give you additional weapons of mass seduction. So you have a look at these white papers, for example. Now, these white papers here, each one of them are between $2,000 and $5,000 to write each of these white paper reports. So these are all on different challenges that business owners have. So the quickest and fastest, quickest, easiest way to double your business income. 4 hot marketing strategies. Get all the customers. All of these are very, very powerful white papers, and they've all got very, very powerful information in it. So they're not just fluff, and they cost an absolute fortune to put together. But can you imagine yourself as a consultant, when you've got these tools behind you, what your perception to your prospect is? So again, coming back to that suggestion that, hey, listen, if I could help you make $300,000, would you be okay giving me $30,000 of that? Bang, you've actually got a pretty good offer. We call it a compelling offer on your hands. So converting a client. Can you see how if you're just using the correct system and you put somebody's situation in front of them and you show them beyond a shadow of a doubt how they can dramatically improve their profits in their business, and by doing so, it won't cost them money because you're going to stand behind your guidance to them, and you're going to just give them a step-by-step process. Who thinks that it might be fairly easy to convert that prospect because you've now built the trust, the credibility, the authority? Well, again, of course, you're going to kill it. In fact, our advisors, many of them report a 70% plus conversion rate. And again, I'm not making any promises, ladies and gentlemen, but I can just tell you anecdotally, so many of my students do that. So we've covered off on lead generation. We've covered off on converting a client. How about the third one? And I hope many of you are thinking about this right now, and that is keeping your promise, because hopefully all of you have ethics and morals, and you would not want to take somebody's money if you couldn't give them results, if you couldn't help that business improve their results. So I'm guessing some of you are thinking, well, if I did go down this path, all right, well, I haven't got any qualifications. I may not have even been in business. So how would I be able to help a business owner? I'm glad you asked, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the third part, and this is very important, guys. You've got to be able to deliver on your promises. So I'm going to create some magic right now. I'm actually going to make all of you honorary Street Smart business consultants for around about the next 5 minutes. And while I'm doing that, this is a cool little thing I'm going to be doing. Bear with me while I get my digitalis ready here. And where are we? Oh boy, I may not be able to do it. So I did have an idea for you. You're all knighted temporary business consultants, okay? And so I'm going to give you an exercise. I'm going to give you a project. I want all of you to imagine you have a client. They own a retail store. They are very stressed because Westfield's charged them an absolute fortune to have that store in their complex. And the problem is that their staff, they've got 3 sales staff. The sales staff aren't talking to the prospects, the potential customers coming in. Sales are tanking, and they've got a real problem trying to make rent. What do you do? So now remember, all of you, I have knighted all of you Street Smart business consultants, but only temporarily. And I want all of you to think right now, and then I want you to put your suggestions in the chat box. I want all of you to think about how you might be able to help this retailer improve their results. And I'm going to give you a system to help you do that. So what I want you to look at is this list here right now. So I want you to go through them right now, and we're going to do it just for 30 seconds. I want you to think about how many, just 3. I want you to choose 3 ideas from here that you think could improve the results of that business owner, that retail business owner. Start from number 1. Just choose, say, 3 different ideas that you could implement by looking at that would help the client get better results in their store from the salespeople that aren't talking to clients. So I'll just give you 30 seconds, guys. I had to put that Jeopardy music in. All right. Who's got a couple of ideas? Pop it in the chat box for me, and let me bring the chat box up here. All right, what do we got here? Okay, so Tracy says, do sales training. Use sales scripts. Absolutely. Fantastic. And Tracy, you hit it on the head. So who thinks just looking at that and seeing those prompters, if you like, gives you ideas on how you could help a prospect? For example, number 1, what about if you gave a guarantee to the people that are in the store? In fact, I just implemented that in an optical store in Sydney, and their sales have gone through the roof. So what about if you did that sales training like Tracy said, or implemented sales scripts? Can you see how it is just fairly systematic and fairly simple for you to actually get results and improve the results in business? It is not rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. So we've done 3 things: showing you how you can generate a lead, showing you how you can convert that lead into a client, showing you how you can help a client. And obviously we're just scratching the surface here. We can't go massively in depth, but who's learning things here? I hope you are. If you can follow a system, and if you can do what I ask you to do and be coachable, then you're going to be able to get some serious results, because we give you everything that you need to get out there and start to make results happen. And I mean fast, really fast. So the bottom line is, I worked out that success is very mechanical. And when you put mechanical things in place, just like Tracy alluded to, by creating some simple scripts or some sales training for the staff, and then if the staff don't measure up, you can always free them up for other opportunities. So if you learned how you had 100 ways to generate more leads for a business, and 63 ways to improve conversions, or 53 ways to increase the transactions that your clients, that your customers have, 68 ways of increasing profit margin, 55 ways of increasing frequency of purchase, so customers coming back over and over again to the same business, 38 ways to increase the number of years that a client stays with you, so you're doing business with them longer, 57 ways of getting referrals. Imagine if you had those ideas and those strategies and those skills, what impact could you make to a business? Pretty huge? Well, of course it'd be huge, guys. It'd be massive. And when you add to that the training that I give to you at Street Smart Business School for a solid year, I mean, stay with me. Most of my clients stay with me 3, 4, 5, 7 years. I tell you, I'm very lucky to have such a great bunch of guys and girls that love what I seem to share with them. But you add business school to it. I'll tell you a little bit about business school later on, and business mastery, and I'll tell you a little bit about business mastery later on. And regular hangouts or webinars, so you can ask me questions and I'll give you answers. And you get access to a bat phone, so that when you've got a situation and you don't know what's going on, you can ring me and say, Batman, this is Gordon here. We've got a problem. You know, pretty well you got a formula for success, guys. So we do put the odds in your favor. So now that I've covered off on those key things about the 3 areas that you have for a successful business, I now want to talk about why it is possible for you to make a 6 or 7 figure income as a business consultant. Being 100% serious here, ladies and gentlemen, what most people do in the world is they have bad business vehicles. In other words, a lot of their ways that they generate their income is by swapping time for money, which we refer to as a jalopy. It's a jalopy way. Rather than get paid for an outcome, which is what consultants get. We get paid for an outcome. We get, as I said to you in that other example, if I help someone make $300,000 profit, do you think that they'd be happy to give me 30,000 of that because that'd be 300,000 they never would have had without me? Of course they would. So I get paid for the outcome. So let me drive this home a bit for you. This comes back to the maths and psychology part of the equation that I alluded to at the beginning. Remember I said you needed 3 things for a successful business: a great lead generation system, a great sales system, and a great delivery system. But you need to add to that you have good profits in the services or products that you offer, and that there's good psychology in the services and products that you offer. Because it's no use you having the best mousetrap in the world if nobody's got any mice to catch, okay? So you got to make sure there's a hungry crowd that want what you have. So let's speak to this time for money. Let's talk about taxi drivers. I love taxi drivers because I used to own a couple of taxis a few years ago. I sold them way before Uber damaged the market and crippled it. Poor P, I feel for them. I mean, taxis were worth like $500,000 and now you can't give them away. But I got out of mine. But I feel for taxi drivers. It's a hard slog. Give them a tip next time you hop in a taxi. But, you know, as good as they are, it doesn't matter how good that taxi driver is, the maximum they could earn for the day, doing 12 hours, mind you, most of them do 12-hour shifts, many of them work 6 days, 7 days a week, is like $300 for the day. And it's hard yakka. By the time you get out of that driver's seat, your brain is so dead you wouldn't believe it. Okay, so that's swapping time for money. Doesn't matter how good you are as a taxi driver, you won't be able to crack that $300 a day. And what about if you're working somewhere else and working in a job? Well, again, there is a limit to what that business can pay you. I don't care if you're making the very best hamburger in the world and it's spectacular and you got a smile on your face when you hand that hamburger over to that customer. There's no way that that business can pay you more than $15 for your expertise, because that is the limit of that opportunity. So again, you're swapping time for money. I'm making that $15 up. I don't know the maximum they pay at McDonald's, but you get the idea, okay? You do not want to swap your time for money. That is a formula for financial disaster. What you want to do is make sure that you get rewarded for outcome. Make sure you get rewarded for results. That's when you're going to start being able to make serious dollars. Let me show you what I mean. So let's just use an example where you may want to make $300,000 a year for yourself as a consultant, and you don't want to be doing 70 hours a week as some corporates do. You want to be doing, say, 30 hours a week and still have a life. So how does that happen? Well, this is the first strategy that I teach our students when they do the intensive training with me, is that I show them how to find clients and charge them $3,000 a month, and I want them to find 6 clients. So when they find those 6 clients using the incredible marketing strategies that we teach them, you have 6 clients and they're paying $3,000 a month to you. Well, that's $18,000 a month. 3 hours, about 3 hours each, are you working with them per week. So you got 6 clients, $3,000 a month, $18,000 a month. That works out to $216,000 a year for around about 20 hours a week. Okay, around about 3 hours a week with each client once you've got things set up with them. And let's just say that you help those businesses improve, and you'll help them improve, by 10%. And those businesses are each doing $5 million turnover. Well, if you've got 6 clients and they're each doing $5 million in turnover, the group turnover is $30 million. So if you help them improve their business by 10%, that means you've got a group improvement of $3 million. And let's just say when you came to your negotiation and you said, I'm happy to help you, it'll be $3,000 a month and 3% of the upside. Well, then you get 3% of that $3 million, which is $90,000. So the summary of that, well, you've got a retainer of $216,000. You work 20 to 30 hours a week. You got a contingency of $90,000. That's your reward. That's your passive income for helping them get results, as you should get. So the total remuneration, $306,000. Who thinks that's pretty cool? No, I do. Even these days, it's pretty cool. Now, some of you might be thinking, I can't charge somebody $3,000 a month. And I get that. My first client, I charged them $300. But when I help them save their business from going out the back door and going into liquidation, and then I helped save the marriage because the money started coming in the other way, and I helped them save their house because they're on the verge of losing it, I started to realize my true value. And again, it's not what you're charging someone, it's the result they get from it. So don't worry about what you're charging. All you need to be concerned about is the value you can deliver to that client. And that is how you make the serious money. And that's where people are happy to pay you $3,000 a month, $5,000 a month, even more. Okay, so what if, even at the beginning, if you didn't charge $3,000 a month, you only charge $1,500 a month? Well, that's still a retainer of $108,000. Still working the same hours. You still get your contingency of $90,000. So you're making around $200,000 a year. Well, that's still not too shabby, ladies and gentlemen, and still having a pretty cool life. So who thinks the maths is pretty cool on that? Now, I don't know any other, and I've worked in just about every industry you can imagine, from the largest corporates down to the smallest contractor, and I've never, ever seen more leverage and more lucrative industry than this one. Now let's speak to the psychology. Remember I said it's no use you having a great product or service if nobody wants it. So in our industry, it's an incredible opportunity. It really is. Because as I said earlier, according to Australian Bureau of Statistics, not Ian Marsh, only 39% of businesses are making a profit right now. And when you add to that 81% of Australians want to exit their business in the next 10 years and 75% of them don't have an exit strategy, that's time to be dancing in the streets, ladies and gentlemen, because there's a massive hungry crowd for what you have to offer them as a product or a service. So again, left-hand side, you've got great maths and margin in what you do. The right-hand side, you've got a huge hungry crowd of people that really want your help, as long as they can trust that you will help them, okay? Now, I'm just going to speak to one last thing here, and that's lifestyle. So think about it. There are a number of ways that you could generate $300,000 for yourself, and I'm going to suggest a few here. Let's just say you wanted to invest in a McDonald's, and I love McDonald's. I think it's a great business model, especially for the owners. So a typical McDonald's, you might have 70 staff working, okay? And most of them are teenagers. And think back to when you were a teenager, if there are no teenagers on here. Your hormones are probably going crazy. There are lots of things you were thinking about, and they definitely weren't food. Now, it's going to invest about $1.5 million for you to have the right to run the McDonald's franchise. You don't own the land, you don't own the business, you just have the right to run it, okay? And so in addition to that benefit of tying up $1.5 million of your capital, you may make between 250 and 300K for yourself, somewhere around there, okay? You work 7 days, 24 hours, anything happens there, someone puts their hand in a fryer, guess who they're going to come and see, okay? You might want to open a bakery. Okay, fair enough. Well, the bakery down the road, I see him open his doors around 3 to 3:30 each morning. How do I know? Well, because I'm down at the gym around that time a lot of the time. They close at 7 o'clock, open 7 days a week. And to get set up, maybe around 350K for the opportunity. Maybe you want to go into retail. Well, that's fine. 6, 7 days a week often. You've got online competition. You've got staff challenges you've got to be aware of, although you guys have already helped solve some of those staff issues. Margins are shrinking because of all the competition online. So again, I've got nothing negative about it. I'm just making you aware of the pros and the cons of all of these industries. Maybe you want to open a 24/7 gym. I'm a member of Snap Gym. Great concept. So anywhere between 150 to 400,000 to open one up. You've got the staff, you've got the equipment, you've got the risk of injury, etc., etc. And then maybe you think, you know what? I think I might get a franchise. Well, that's cool too. And all the franchise is really what I'm talking to you about. So if you choose a good one, they've got very strong lead generation systems. They've got very strong sales systems. They've got very strong delivery systems. And that's how they manage to ask you for a lot of money to have a franchise. But then the downside to that is every bit of money you make, you got to pay fees for them and you've got no control. That's a bit of a concern for me because if they tell you to jump, you got to say how high. If they want to change the look of the store, you got to come up with a couple $100,000 for a refit. You know, there's a few challenging things that can happen sometimes. You got to read those franchise agreements carefully. So we've covered off on the 6 key things that I urge all of you to be looking at whenever you're considering any business vehicle to improve your lifestyle and your income. I hope you're finding it pretty cool. So now let's speak to why most people don't make a 6 or 7 figure income and what you can do about it. Because I'll tell you here and now, the majority of people out there are nowhere near making 6 or 7 figure incomes, okay? It's about 5% of the population, rightly or wrongly, okay? So I'm going to tell you why, and then I'm going to tell you how you can easily fix that. So right now, please suspend disbelief for me because this is really important. This is where I get to the head stuff. Now, I'll tell you again, I've been around for a long time. You can tell because I haven't got much hair left. And the bottom line is it doesn't matter how good the business is. It doesn't matter how good the strategies are, the model is. If you haven't got your thought processes working correctly, you won't make it. Okay, so that's why I started this whole conversation off with why are you here? What's your reason? Where's the clarity in your purpose? Because it's got to be burning clear for you so you can break through what I'm about to share with you right now. So all of you live in a reality of some sort. Maybe your reality is, well, it's my lot in life to earn $80,000 to $100,000 a year. I never went to university, so I can never earn more than that. I never learned how to run a business, so I can't buy one. Etc., etc. Whatever that reality is, it's been burned into you from the day you were born by your environment. What I mean by that is if you imagine the reality of, say, someone born to, and I'm not being derogatory here, but let's just say someone born to teachers. Well, teachers may make $80,000, $100,000 a year, I don't know. And so they've got a government job. They go to work every day. And they've got a reality that's been built around that about what is and what is not possible. They've never seen people make $1 million in a weekend, okay? And I'm hand on heart, okay? I won't talk too much about that world, but believe me when I say people out there are making $1 million on a weekend, and I know that firsthand. So, but that's totally unbelievable to the school teachers that are working very hard, and I take my hat off to them, delivering massive value to the students. That's their reality in life. So the people born to Donald Trump, for example, the children from Donald Trump, Ivanka and Donald Jr., etc., they have one reality, and the children born to the school teachers, they have another reality. but it's a reality that we make for ourselves. And what I want all of you to understand is that that reality is actually a fantasy. And you can break that reality and make a fantasy for yourself that then becomes a reality for yourself, just like I did. So remember, for 15 years, I thought my lot in life was making $50,000 a year as a contractor. And then once I started learning new skills, I became a multi-millionaire within 3 years and had one of the largest air conditioning companies in Australia. Who thinks that's a fantasy? So I hope you get where I'm coming from here. So how do we fix this, and how do we break out of the reality that you have into the next reality that you want to live into? Well, here's the first step for you, ladies and gentlemen. You got to take full responsibility for the mess. You made it, you clean it up. So a perfect example is I could have blamed my staff for ripping me off and me going bankrupt for losing millions and millions of dollars. Well, I had a $10 million education, ladies and gentlemen, and for a short period of time, I blamed everybody but myself. Oh, it's not fair, and I want to take them, I'm going to chase them all through court, and all this other BS that goes through your head. Well, I had a reality moment, a come to Jesus moment, thanks to my mentor, actually, Mel. Mel made me wake up to myself when I felt sorry for myself and felt I was a loser, and said, Ian, wake up to yourself, you idiot. You just had a $10 million education. Get out there and do it again, and I'll help you. So that was exactly what I needed at the time. I took full responsibility. I stopped blaming everybody else. I let it happen to myself, and I had to wear the consequences and then pull myself out of it. And I became stronger because of it and wiser because of it. And again, please, one of the reasons I do what I do is I don't want to have any of you ever experience what we went through. So who decides what reality you have? Well, you do. And many of you right now are sitting in a comfort zone right now. What I mean by comfort zone is you know that if you do the right thing and keep on doing what you're doing, you're going to get sort of similar results to what you're getting. If you don't rock the boat, you've still got food on the table and you've still got a roof over your head and life goes on. But the thing is, when you get in that comfort zone, that's really a danger zone, because you're not growing, you're not improving, you're not achieving what you're capable of. And many times, right when you're in that comfort zone, especially business owners that think, right, I got it nailed, I don't need to push myself or stay on the edge anymore, that's the most dangerous time in business. In fact, that's the time to get out in many cases, because you've lost your edge and the competitors are going to do you. They're going to take your market from you and you'll wear the consequences. So where you want to be is in the breakthrough zone. You want to reach out of the comfort zone to the breakthrough zone where you're trying new things. You're reaching for better results. You're developing and improving your skills in different ways so that you're on the edge. You're not sure what's going to happen. Is it a bit scary? Yes, it's a bit scary. But it's also very exciting. And that's where the biggest breakthroughs and the most amazing things in life happen to you. And then you've got a final area, ladies and gentlemen. And this is where I go every now and then, is into the terror zone, okay? So I'm not asking you to go into the terror zone. What I'm asking you to do is reach out of your comfort zone, where many of you have been, or you wouldn't be on this call, and just reach into the breakthrough zone, asking yourself, what, instead of saying, oh, I can't do that because what if it doesn't work? What if I lose my money? What if I can't make it happen? What if I can't be a consultant? And I'm going to turn that around for you, and I'm going to say this. What if it does work? What if you could make 6 or 7 figures? What if you could do what single mothers, laborers, horse trainers, MBAs, OBEs, and many other people I've trained have done? What if you could do it? How cool would life be then? So where society wants to keep you is right here. I'm telling you right up front, when you go into that breakthrough zone, you're going to have friends and family say all of these things to you that will steal your dreams, that will steal your goals if you listen to them and let them. I'm saying don't. Stop it. Unless they are at least 5 times more successful than you in that particular area, do not give their advice or their opinion any weight. I just want to say that one more time. Unless they are at least 5 times more successful than you in that particular area, do not give their opinion or advice any weight. Only go to experts to get the guidance. Please, please. The most expensive advice is free advice. So you got choices, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and you can either choose to pray for a magic lamp that you rub and some rich relative dies somewhere that you didn't know about and you inherit millions of dollars, Or you can actually take control of your life, learn new skills, go into that breakthrough zone and start doing something more to get a better result. Now, I'm going to do a little exercise with you now. We're going to just change modes. Watch very carefully because I'm going to show you a formula. I built this really cool tool, and I'm going to bring it up right now. And I want you just to tell me if you can see it. Okay, this is called the cost of inaction calculator. So just have a look in chat. Guys, just let me know that you're still alive. So tell me, oh, hello, Javan. Good to see you there, mate. Just tell me, can you see the cost of inaction calculator, guys? Tell me that it's coming up on your screen. Or do I need to do a new share? Who can see the cost of inaction calculator there? Hello, is anybody there? Oh, cool. Colleen, thank you. I wasn't sure. Sometimes this wonderful system just has a mind of its own. I think I'm talking to, there's a black screen there, and all of you are so polite, you don't tell me I'm talking to a black screen. So, all right, I want you to have a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the average income in Australia today is $67,000 something dollars. I'm going to round it up to $70,000. Don't take it personally if I'm saying it's an average income for you. Now, I'm also going to make an assumption, and that assumption is that maybe many of you would like to have $300,000 as your first goal for your income. Now, there's people on the call I know that are making more than that, and there's people on the call that are making less than that. But let's just say that you'd be okay with making $300,000. So if that's the money that you're making, and this is the money that you know you want to be making, there is a gap of $230,000 there, ladies and gentlemen. So that gap there works out to $19,166.67 a month, or to put it another way, $630 a day. Now, before this training, it was okay for you not to take action because we can all agree that perhaps you didn't know any better. But now, all of you have actually seen a proven method, a blueprint, and a plan that can help take you from whatever your income level is to the level that you want it to be, with minimal staff, minimal overheads, and minimal capital outlay. So if you don't take action from this moment forward, I've got you on the hot seat because you now know better. You know it is capable. You know it's possible. You know you can do it. So every day you don't take action by working towards that goal, by putting some plan in place, even if it's not the plan that I have outlined for you, but you find some other model, remembering maths and psychology and using leverage, then you're losing $630 a day, ladies and gentlemen. That's not a joke. That's serious. That's money. That's every day you're not providing and having that life that you're able to have to provide for you and your family and what you want to do. Because to the best of my knowledge, you only got one life. So does that make sense, guys? Is that clear? Because I want it to be crystal clear that you understand the cost of inaction. Please say yes. Yep. Oh, good on you. Good on you, Paul. Thank you. So now I'm going to come back to the slides here. And so what I want you to understand is that when you make this mental shift, just like I did in the year 2000, that's when you're ready to create the life that you want instead of the one that you have. Okay, because you realize you have the control. You actually have all the power right here, right now in your hand. You've just got to use it. So here's a simple success checklist for you. Find a proven business model. If you want to generate better income for yourself, then find a proven business model, whatever it is, even if it's not ours. Embrace the doubt. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Richard Branson. I don't care if it's Bill Gates. I don't care who it is. Everybody has that little dark voice in their head saying, oh, don't do that. You'd be crazy. It's your reptilian brain trying to protect you. And I'm urging you, please don't listen to that, because if you don't, you won't go through that breakthrough zone and start then expanding into another world. And again, just to give you a practical example, how many of you remember that first date you went on? Guys, you know what I'm talking about. You saw that pretty girl over there and you're thinking, oh, I'd love to ask her out. And some of you did and some of you didn't, because that little voice was there. I know I didn't. I came so close to not not talking to my beautiful lady of my life, Jenny, but I was within millimeters of not taking that action. And what would my cost of inaction be? I would have missed out on the woman of my dreams and never had Jenny in my life because I would have listened to that little voice in my head. Oh, you know where you're coming from. Well, it's exactly the same with business. Okay, so embrace the doubt. Say, get out there. So also use leverage. Learn to use leverage. So leverage other people's time, leverage other people's money, and leverage other people's knowledge. Just like you leverage my knowledge when I show you how you can achieve this business and build this business. But here's the big one as well. You've got to put in serious effort. Okay, now this really is, it's a very simple business model to succeed at, but you have to put the work in because it won't work itself. So what have we covered here so far? Well, we've covered 3 things that every successful business must have. I've shown you how it's possible for you to make a 6 or 7 figure income if you're serious. And I've shown you why most people don't make a 6 or 7 figure income and what to do about it. Most people stay in that green zone. Most people will stay in that comfort zone, and most people, 90% of people are going to be on the pension when they retire. That's just a fact. So I don't want that to be you. So I'm going to just share with you a couple of examples of people that had to break out of their comfort zone into the breakthrough zone. Now, this is Mark. Mark actually saw my book in Dimmicks, and he paid the $27 and rang me up. Mark was an engineer making $100,000 a year. He was working 70 hours a week, and he really was not being appreciated. And he loves horses, and so do I, by the way. Anyway, Mark had to break through in his comfort zone. He became an advisor in 2016. Within 4 months, he was making more money than he was making with being an engineer, working way less hours. And he now owns a multi-million-dollar business called Regal Bloodstock. I actually bought one of his horses. He lives life on his terms and does what he loves. And if you have a conversation with him, I'm so thankful to you for the kind things you say, Mark. But again, you had to have the courage to break out of your comfort zone. And then I love this lady, Saffron. Saffron was a single mother making $50K a year. She had 2 children to support, and she came from England. So she came over here and then was on her own. So she decided to become an advisor. She used the last of her resources to invest in becoming a business consultant. And I asked all of my consultants, right, where do you want to be 12 months from now? And she was very precise. She said, I never want to have to rely on anyone again. I want to take my kids for the holiday of their life to Disney World. And I want to be able to buy my own home. And I kid you not, this is where the clarity comes in. At 12 months, nearly to the knocker, guess where she was with her kids? Disney World. Guess where she was living? In her own home. And guess what? She didn't have to do anymore. Rely on somebody else. And I'm so proud of her. And her income, I don't know where it is now. It's been a while since I've talked to her, but it's at least tripled and probably at least quadrupled from where it was. So well done to you, Saffron. And Niels, I just trained Niels a couple of months ago. He was a fitter machinist. He had an injury on his motorbike, and so his earning capacity really dropped. And he's always wanted, his big goal was to allow his wife to be able to be at home and be a stay-at-home mum. And he tried different things. He tried the internet, tried copywriting, tried multi-level marketing. Nothing seemed to work for him until he met me. So now he's closing clients. He's got like a 70% conversion rate. He's on target for 6 figures. And his wife thinks he's a hero now because he is. And husbands, you know where I'm coming from. You know, we don't always win, do we? We've always got the family's interests at heart, but sometimes we fall flat on our face. And it's a bit hard for your partner to keep supporting you sometimes when maybe you don't kick goals all the time. Well, that emotional bank account now is so full and they're on fire, and I'm so proud of these guys. And this is the impact and the difference. And then we've got Michael. So Michael's a painter. He was making around about 70K a year, working long hours. He became an advisor a couple of months ago. Now, he used the consulting skills on his business. His sales conversions have now tripled. He's on track now for like 250K. And he's building an actual business that he can sell rather than a job. Okay, pretty cool. And I'll just share one more with you. And the reason I'm doing this, I just want to give you that social proof that people from all walks of life, remember who we're talking about, fitter machinists, single mothers, engineers. And this gentleman, he used to train real estate agents on how to sell real estate. His name's Glenn Twiddle. He was making 50K a year at the time. And now this guy was really serious. I knew when I first met him that he wanted to do so much better with his life. Anyway, he became an advisor around 2008. And he did the advisor training twice. Now, when you do my training, I'm happy for you to come back and do a refresher as many times as you want. You just got to cover the costs of the food and the room and that sort of thing. So he became an avid student of sales. He's now a 7-figure consultant, and I've got quite a few of them, by the way, not just Glenn. He now has the second largest real estate coaching program in Australia. And if any of you are involved in real estate, seek him out. He is a genius, and he actually cares about you. That's why he's so successful, and because he met me. He's great mates with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He goes over there to Miami and chuffs on cigars and red wine with Arnold at least once or twice a year. And he's actually an example of how the student surpasses the master. Now, I couldn't be happier for him. But again, he's now kicking goals. And I'm actually going to his event in a few weeks' time. He's actually going to have a full room of people, and he's going to be teaching them about some Facebook marketing, and I want to go and say hello. So well done, Glenn. Now, there's just a couple of people, again, from all walks of life. That's why I just put a spread there. So how many of you can see yourself as consultants? Are you loving this as much as I am? Are you getting the idea that I absolutely get a buzz out of what I do? Now, if you are, and you might be wondering who this is right for, well, it's anyone that is currently recognizing they're in a jalopy and they want a racing car for a business model, because you won't get any faster. Any business owner that wants to apply these principles to their own business and improve their results, just like Michael is. Or just massively wanting to improve their lifestyle, their income, and control their life by helping other people be successful. Okay. Who have I helped? Builders, school teachers, engineers, accountants, farmers, single mums, real estate agents, MBAs, OBEs, brickies labourers, salespeople, scientists, IT consultants, retirees, start-againers, and I've probably left a few people out. What do I mean by start-againers? Well, they're people like me. So people that actually have quite large businesses, and ironically, they got done over much like I did, and they had to start again from scratch. And they weren't spring chickens either. And so help give them a great business model and teach them, and they rebuilt their lives using this model with a lot less stress and drama. And so if you like the sounds of this and you want to know how I can help you, this is what we do. And I tell you what, my consultants, I'll put my hand up, they wrap rings around so many people that I see. And I'm not denigrating other people, but I'm just so proud of my advisors. Here's how we do it, and here's how we get the results. Now, I've got a 4-day intensive coming up on the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th of October. I don't do many trainings anymore because I love life, but I'm doing one on the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th of October on the Gold Coast. And I'm going to take you through my whole system. This is my consulting business that has generated, when I wanted to make a mark for myself, I was doing it was really close to $10,000 a day. Can't think of the exact number. About just under $4.5 million a year I was doing, okay, when I was pumping. Okay, I'm not pumping now, I'm just enjoying life, but that's when I had full throttle. So I take you through the system, the exact system that I used to build that business model up. And more importantly, you get the support, you have a mind shift, you actually understand how to get into the speed wealth zone that it exists. So what do we do in the 4-day training? Well, you're going to have your first prospect before you even start the training. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then before the training, you actually will also do some preliminary work so you're prepared, and we can roll our sleeves up and hook in. And by the time you do the training, I guarantee you, that's the word, guarantee, you will be able to generate leads at will. You'll know how to generate leads at will. You're going to be able to convert those leads into clients, and you're going to know how to optimize and help grow a company. Okay, you really will have the ability to massively help businesses just after those 4 days. So you will have everything you need to get out there and start building that consulting practice for yourself. And the record for a paying client, is held by Lorraine Brooks, and that was 5 days. The next record was 7 days. And I reckon if you allow 14 to 21 days, that'd be a reasonable expectation. Again, I'm not making promises. because I don't know how much effort you'll put in or how you'll execute or what you will do, but I'm just giving you an idea of what happens. Now, we're going to be doing some foundations on Facebook and online marketing, and you'll learn about Facebook Live. Right now, I'm broadcasting to Facebook on Facebook Live. You get the membership to mastery. So once a month for 8 months of the year, I do a half-day workshop with you, and you can either stream into that workshop or join me live on the Gold Coast. You get fortnightly webinars and access to the membership site and so much more. So again, when you finish, I'm going to be holding you accountable because I want your success as much as you do. And over time, you're going to learn these skills because I don't know where you're going to take what I teach you, okay? Many of you take this knowledge in different directions, but you're going to learn copywriting skills, sales and influence skills, public speaking, management skills, business optimization, marketing, lead generation, structuring your business ready for sale. Remember, 75% of those businesses out there aren't structured ready for sale. And so much more, I tell you. So you'll have skill sets that luckily 5% of the world has. So again, it's on the 5th to the 8th of October at the Gold Coast. I'm hoping you guys are loving what I'm sharing here because, again, I'm excited about it. So let's review what happens and how we get those results. So you get business school for a year, and this is where you come and we spend 3 days together in business school. And I teach you intense, you're locked in a room for 3 solid days. I bring experts from around the world in to teach you online marketing, leadership skills. I had Bob Ansett there. I've had Rodney Adler there. I've had Margaret Court there. I've had, oh, goodness me, Gina Reinhardt had a mental blank speak on our stage. So you name it. I've had all weird and wonderful people share knowledge with you over these business schools. Alan Pease, etc. But I just want you learning different perspectives. Okay, the last one that we did, I taught people how to do much what I'm doing right now. Okay, and having this effective communication system. You also have 8 monthly mastery training sessions, so half-day workshops. So this is where we get together, the mastermind, and you can stream in or join me live, and I teach you additional business skills. So the bottom line here, and the reason why we do this is I want you to be world-class. And so it's just a continual education, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, it doesn't end after 12 months. I mean, most of my students stay with me 5 and even 7 years, I tell you. It's great, and I'm just very lucky to have them, and I appreciate them so much. So get our lead generation systems. And imagine, if you've got an ability to generate leads at will, I've put $25,000 on this. But imagine what it's really worth to a business. So much more, because these lead generation strategies, you repurpose them to help your clients as well. They don't just work for consulting, they work for nearly any industry. You've got an incredible conversion system. You just heard Michael's story, how he's converting at triple his conversion rates. You heard Neil's story, he's converting at 70%. This is one of the most powerful sales systems you will ever learn. And you get regular webinars so you can ask me questions when you're not sure of things. You get your white label rights to the book to do anything with. Put your picture on there. This is an incredible positioning tool for you. So you get to do what you want with this book. I do strategic planning with you, and I've put a value of $1,500 on there, but I'm on your side. I'm in your pocket with you, working with you side by side. And now I want you to listen carefully to this. Many of my consultants, I've given them the opportunity to work with our business school students because in many cases, I want you to understand, being a business consultant largely is you holding your client accountable to the things they know they should be doing, even when they don't want to be doing them. That's probably 80% of the game. And so I give you the opportunity to work with our students, and I want to see them implementing the things that I'm teaching them, and you're holding them accountable, and I pay you very well for that. So I pay my advisors $150 for a consulting session, and many times it's an hour to an hour and a half. So I know for many of you on this call, it's probably a lot more than you've ever received for that sort of time. However, I expect a lot, and I also want to see you get really good. So again, let's just quickly run through it, and these numbers are not made up. These are real-time values. So 4-day intensive boot camp, $20,000, because my rate is $5,000 a day to teach and to consult. So it's a real value. 4 5s are 20. A year's membership to business school. That's what my students are paying right now for business school. 12 months business mastery. My consulting resources, $25,000. My lead generation systems, my conversion systems, The webinar. So you get to hop on the webinar and we can brainstorm different strategies and ideas continuously with everybody else. White label rights to your own book. Access to the membership site. It's worth way more than $2,000. I don't know why I put that on there because it's got so much knowledge in there. A strategic planning session and the opportunity, if I believe you have the skills I'm looking for. It's not a right. This is not part of your program, but it is a very high probability you'll be asked to actually work with some of our students as a coach. Now, genuine value of $146,500, but do not panic, ladies and gentlemen. It is not going to cost you that, okay? But before I share with you what the real investment is, I just want you to have a frame of reference, okay? I want you to really understand this is a real business. This is a business that I could sell for an incredible amount of money if I wanted to. However, I choose to do what I do because I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. So what other business models out there give you the opportunity to generate $300,000 a year or more? Well, maybe you could buy a cafe, but remember the hours that are involved in that. And buying a cafe, this one I just pulled off the web, $290,000 to $430,000, and you're probably going to make about $80,000 return on that, working 6 days a week. What about getting a gym? So again, this one's $130,000 plus stock of value, so maybe $230,000, somewhere around there. And maybe you might make $100,000 there for investing in a gym. So again, when I share the real value that I'm about to share with you, I want you to have a frame of reference because this is a real business. This is, and I actually have all the paperwork drawn up to actually sell this as a franchise, and but I've decided not to put handcuffs on my students and just let them use this knowledge. So to give you a business with the ability to earn an extra, if it could help you just earn an extra $9,000 a month, would it be worth $50,000 to you? Maybe. What's 12 nines, 84,000? How many times do you get a business you can fully pay for within 12 months, have it paid off? Pretty good. What about if this just helped you become a master of business so that you could never go broke again, so that no matter what happened, you knew you could always generate business at will? Would that be pretty powerful? Would that be worth $50,000 to you? I had two choices when I was pulling this together. It was either create a information product that I could sell for maybe $3,500, as I see other people do, and literally sell massive amounts of them, but possibly ruin my reputation. Or I put together one of the most comprehensive training programs anyone's ever seen and get maximum results from my students. And I've only trained a bit over 60 students in my time. So, it's not like I'm after hundreds of students or anything. I just care about the students that I do train. And I'll give you maximum results. So I obviously chose the latter. And this is just a small smattering, if that's a real word, of some of my 6- and 7-figure consultants. There's many more I can easily put on there. I'd love you to be one of them if you're resonating with any of this. This is by application only, and I do believe it's the most comprehensive, supportive business skill development program of its kind. Whether you're a business owner wanting to improve your business, whether you're a business owner wanting to structure it ready for sale and looking at it from a consultant's perspective, whether you're an employee and you want to have a better way to make an income and have more freedom in your life. I don't know what your reasons are, but I do know that this is an incredible business model. And I try to be unbiased, but I've never seen anything as lucrative and as simple and personally rewarding, okay, because I just get such a buzz out of what I've helped people do. If you love what you're hearing so far, see this link down here? I'm just going to put this link into the chat box down here. Bear with me for one momento. So have a look in your chat box, guys, and I'm going to send this to everybody. And this is the application form. If you're loving what you're hearing, fill in an application and you can have a conversation with me. These places will move fast, believe me. And if you're accepted, it will change your life. There is no way that it won't. Now, here's the good news. The investment is not $50K. The investment is only $25,000. And you're going to absolutely have one of the most powerful business models in existence. Now, I can only take 8 advisors for this training. And the reason for that is I want to spend the time teaching you. And if I have too many people in the training, I just cannot do that. So the maximum will be 8 advisors that I do train in this next training. First in, first serve. Just to give you an idea, I've got 22 serious people that have requested business advisor kits from me to date, because this is the first live training that I've done. I'm going to do this over the next 3 to 4 weeks until those spaces are filled. But if you can do the math, so I've already had 22 people request the Fast Start Consulting Kit that many of you saw. And so these places will not last long. I'm urging you, if you love this, hit that application, have a conversation with me. Let's see what happens. But here's another thing. I want to make sure that this is a good fit for you. And so this is an unparalleled guarantee. It's a 100% risk-free guarantee. And that is that I want you to come on the first day. You get to see how everything is laid out for you. You get to see how comprehensive the systems are, the strategies are, and how powerful the system is. And at the end of the first day, in the unlikely event that you are not blown away with it, just let me know at the end of the day and we'll EFT your money back the next day. Now, I can't be any fairer than that, can I? So I want to make this as fair for you, so it's a good fit for you and for me. If you get in there and you go, oh, what have I done? Well, I don't want there to be bad blood. But after that first day, then that's it. Okay, you're committed. Don't ask for your money back. It's mine. Sorry. Okay, and the reason why is because I can't get the knowledge back out of your head. See, this is intellectual property. And once it's in your head, guess what? There's no extraction system that I can use to pull it back out. So that's the best that I can do for you is that first day, go right through everything, have one day of full training with me. And if you don't love it, just let us know. We'll give you your money back. All right. Now, those of you that are still here, you've hung with me till the end, and I promise you a gift. See this incredible book. I really am told it's a great read. And this book, if you are a business owner or you're thinking of going into business or anything along those lines, if you get a copy of this book, this is going to put you ahead of your competition, because there are real, usable, proven strategies in there that I use to absolutely dominate my marketplace. And I just haven't done it in one company. Remember, I've built 5 multi-million-dollar companies. So they're the same principles that I've used over and over and over again. All right, so I'm going to show you how to get a copy of this book. What you do, see this link here? Again, I've put this link into the chat box. As everybody there, have a look in the chat box. And when you click that link, if you go down the bottom, see this little blue button here, your free gift link. Okay, so if you click that button, you're going to go to a page, put your details in. I'll send you a physical copy of my book at my cost, and you can have a read of it. I'd love to just hear what you think of it and tell me, give me a review or something. And by the way, if you're putting the application in, you don't have to hit that button, because as soon as you put the application in, I'm going to send you a copy of the book anyway as my gift to you. So you won't have to worry about clicking the button down below. If you know this is right for you, and there's someone you call on this call now that know that there are, then look, just that application there, that URL is in your chat box. Click it, fill in the application form, and let's have a chat. Okay, and what will happen is my team will contact you, we'll make a time, see if and how we can help each other, and then I will make it my mission to help turn you into an incredible consultant, to utilize those skills in whatever way you deem fit. So look, apply now. That's the link again. It's in the chat box. I will put in the chat box one more time. Is there anyone that can't find that link in the chat box? I've got something really special still to give you guys, so don't drop off just yet. But I'm just looking in the chat box one more time. Where are we? I'll put it in just in case you miss it. Chat box, pop it in, paste, bang. All right, so apply now, and I'll have a conversation with you. But what I want to do is I just want to share something else with you. Okay, so essentially, number one, if finance is a little bit of a problem, we could probably help you out there and set you up with finance. It works out to about $220 a week. So, you know, it's very, if you like, doable if you're serious about your income level. Now, here's the gift I've got for you. For the first 3 people that apply and pay in full, so you have to pay in full, I'm going to give you an incredible gift. This is a $5,000 gift. Okay, see this wonderful positioning, these weapons of mass seduction here. I've gone one past it. I'm going to pull all that together for you. Okay, your letterheads, your compliment slips, your 10-fold business cards, your custom for life branded books, your 16 free reports, your audio, your CD, all of these tools I'm going to pull together for you for free if you're one of the first 3 people to actually pay in full and become a client. So again, you want to act fast. and you will look $1 million, because we'll brand all of this for you and have it all printable for you. So just take it to your printer and get it all knocked out. So in summary, guys, I hope you've had a great time. Let's just go through one more time what happens. So if you join me, you're going to, on the 5th to the 8th of October, so it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4-day intensive on the Gold Coast. You get my whole consulting business model, my lead generation system, a sales system, business optimization system, 12 months of business school. So you and I are connected to the hip for at least 12 months. Business mastery every month, 16 webinars. You're probably going to be so sick of me going, Ian, I can't look at your face anymore. Please stop. And I'm going to go, no, we haven't hit your goal yet. You got to keep going, buddy. You're going to get the white label rights to your book, strategic planning with me, a chance. And I say this again, you may have the opportunity to work with my students, but I need to see that you have what I want you to have to work with them. And you get access to the bat phone. So again, that's the link, guys. I've had a blast sharing this knowledge with you. I hope you've enjoyed listening to it. And I'm just going to let some past advisors share their thoughts on the training, and you can hear from them firsthand on the difference it's made to their life. I've had a blast tonight, and again, I hope you guys put that application in, and I'll have a chat to you. Only 8 that I can take. Now, you can bring your partner for free, okay? You don't need to pay the money twice. You can bring your partner for free. You just got to cover the cost of their food, etc., and you can bring them along. So, again, I'm saying adieu, but have a listen to the past advisors and what they have to say about what they've accomplished.
I had a big project management business that I had started in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi. And the GFC killed it. It was a mid-7-figure business, and then owed a lot of money, so I came back to Australia. I managed to get a consulting role for a large public company in resources. And at the beginning of last year they went bankrupt, owing me another ton of money after having spent 7 days a week running a big project for them. Owed literally millions of dollars. And thought, not doing corporate again. I'm over 50, and then of course after all of that, you know, it's very difficult. You can't get a job. The only option is obviously figure out what can you do for yourself. First time I got the email from Ian, it was to actually have a system to earn 6 or 7 figures and have a life. I thought, wow, that sounds really good, and it's something that I can do. There's a cost to even doing Ian's course, and at the time I was owed so much money and I didn't have it, but I signed up anyway and figured one way or another I'll get it. After 12 months it was almost like a light switch, learning how to work with the right client and attract them to you. Then it's really started to ramp up very quickly in the last few months. Very much on track to mid-6 figures again. Writing compelling copy and then someone gives you money. That's quite a nice thing.
Hello, my name is Scott Kilpatrick, and I've got a company called Affordable Quality Homes, and I wanted to send you this email to say thank you. I know nobody's asked me, and nobody's suggested that I should do, I don't know what you'd call this, a testimonial, I suppose, I just really wanted to say thank you for all the Street Smart advisors have done for my company. It's made a massive change. Not only are we running very profitably, extremely profitably in fact, it's made such a dramatic change there with our marketing and our systems, but also Street Smart has made it so for the first time in our lives, my wife and I can have time off. In fact,
big result.
So what sort of dollars? What sort of dollars are we talking, Dean? What do you call a big result?
I'd say it's increased our sales per month. A combination of these strategies by the tune of $300,000 a month.
Hi, my name's Chantel Mader and winner of the Street Smart Business Advisor of the Year, and I'm here in fabulous Cook Islands. And I just wanted to share some of my experience with you in being a business advisor. If you're thinking about becoming a business advisor, obviously, you know, I won this trip with the Cook Islands in taking out Business Advisor of the Year and get to share that with my husband, so I'm absolutely stoked about that. But just some of the things, you know, if you're considering in becoming a business advisor, you know, it really is a great lifestyle. You get to jet all around the country and stay in fabulous hotels, and you get to make a real bottom line difference, not only, you know, to the business people that you work with, and you get to help their families as a consequence, and there's nothing more rewarding.
Hi, my name is Christine Vernon, and I've been part of the Street Smart Business Advisors program, and I found that I've learned a whole lot of stuff in marketing that I've never even thought about or even knew. I've been through a university, done 3 degrees, and it's not taught me anything about marketing at all. Done an MBA, which is just hopeless. And what I've learned today for the last week or so has been just fabulous. I've learned so much of marketing that I can use for my own clients and for my own business. It's going to make me $1 million. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tracy Eaton.
I'm Yvette Shoulders.
And we're Street Smart Business Advisors. Now, before we joined the program, we'd actually hit rock bottom in our business. We'd been in business since 2007. We were at zero, and in fact, well, less than zero. We'd invested well over $100,000 of our own money into our business and into other training that hadn't worked. So, with help from Mal and Ian, we decided to join the Business Advisor program.
In the first 8 months, we went from below zero to earning a six-figure income.
Now our lifestyles improved dramatically. We're able to be there for our kids, be great role models for them as well for now and the future, which is very exciting. And we've achieved some great results for clients, including best sales day in a 33-year history, 17% response rates on campaigns, a confident business owner that now does her own marketing campaign.
Share with our viewers a little bit about who you are and I guess where you came from, Saffron.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, I didn't go to university or anything like that. I left school when I was 16. I actually went to college and studied economics. Didn't like it. Kind of flunked out of that. And just fell into becoming a secretary. I was a legal secretary for years, and by the time I was about 30, I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. Yeah, so it's actually not long after I came to Australia that the relationship that I was in was, you know, it was quite emotionally abusive. So the relationship broke down, and so that was quite a tough time.
You're in a new country. You and your husband have parted ways. You've got I think 2 children, yeah?
Yes, 2 children.
2 children, and so you've got to actually make ends meet on your own now. It's just great. Now, look, the end result. You wanted to. Your goal was to be working 4 days a week. Have you actually about tap into your income, Saffron?
So I actually managed to double my income by becoming a business advisor.
Actually, I knew I wanted to be an engineer when I was 13. So I'm the sort of person that plans my entire life. Like, I plan everything. So at 13, I knew I wanted to design bridges. That was it. The thing I love about it is helping people. And that was always what I wanted to do. Ended up with an engineer as well. So he's a civil engineer too. But we knew that there was something else out there, and we ended up having a business. We were working 7 days a week, 5 days in engineering, 2 days in the business, and it was a lot of stress. It was actually, unfortunately, a passion business, so we fell in love with it. It was a blueberry farm up in Coffs Harbour, beautiful place, and we imagined we were going to retire there, build our house there. We got taken for a ride, our money got stolen, and it was heartbreak. It was so stressful that Steve couldn't sleep at all, and we still had to pay for 50 employees, so we still had to get everything running, the business going. It was the most devastating, well, I thought it was the most devastating day of my life. It wasn't. The next day, he had a heart attack. That was when I actually came to Street Smart, and that was when we started applying systems in place. And just to tell you the truth, I got told it was an ugly business. And I'm actually really, really glad that we listened, because we sold that business. We actually sold it for a profit. That's what made me realise that there are other people out there that don't know what to do in their business. So there are other people out there that need that help. And that's when I found Ian. And that's when he told me about the advisor program and told me you can really help people and change their lives. And that was it. That was my tipping point, my turning point. I knew that that's what I wanted to do, and to help people and to take control of our lives as well. So when you help an actual business, it changes not only their business, it changes their entire lives and the community and their family, and that's why I do it. That's why it's inspiring for me.
I'm really happy to have on the call today a good friend of mine, an individual that has really lived the principles that we do our best to share, and that is Glenn Twiddle. He's kindly agreed to come and have a conversation with us, and mate, I really do appreciate you taking time out and sharing your story and your journey to becoming a seven-figure business consultant and where that world has taken you to. So welcome to the call.
Thanks,
Glenn.
Ian, and I tell you, mate, with an intro like that, I just can't wait to hear what I'm going to say. It's going to be awesome.
It comes from our absolute heart to say that we're here and we're telling you guys to actually listen to what Ian and Mel and the Street Smart crew have got to say. Follow it to the letter. Don't think too much about it and just do it. With all the things that are going on in your head at the moment with business, if you're doing it tough, those late nights where you're laying around tossing and turning, how are you going to make payroll? Stop concentrating on that and just listen to what Ian and Mel and the team at Street Smart have to say. And, you know, it's not one of these things that you can just go and do once. It's not a magic pill. It's not something you can just swallow and everything goes away. You've got to work hard at it. But if you do, you're incrementally going in the right direction, and then you can make that quantum leap. There's nothing worse than going flat out at 100 miles an hour the wrong way. And with Street Smart, if you just go the direction that they say, concentrate on what they're doing, put everything else to one side and listen to them, it's going to work, guys.
Hi, my name is Mark. Look, I just like to get a message out to you. Just some personal experience of myself prior to the business course, the business advisors course. Look, not so long ago, it would have only been 12 months ago, I was working in a job. I was probably putting in 16-hour days, doing work that I didn't really enjoy. I was an engineer. It's not that I didn't like doing engineering. It was probably all the processes and the leadership around myself. And I felt that I didn't have any flexibility in life. I felt that I was very much in a rat race. I really didn't have any control of my life. I wanted to get my life back. I just wanted to have some freedom when I wanted to do. I wanted to live life on my own terms. I'm really passing this message out to you today because firstly, I didn't think it was possible. And I thought that was all fiction. But I've actually can say that personally myself, that that's not the case. I decided to take upon the business advisors course. I was in a position where I really thought I'd take a chance. I wanted to give myself a go at something and to live life on my terms. I had natural reservations by taking the course. There was a big upfront fee, and I didn't know whether I'd be able to transform myself with the skills to be able to make big differences to businesses as a business advisor. My natural life or my education didn't represent business. Well, I can tell you firsthand, 4 months onwards, I have more business than I can handle, and I'm achieving far greater money than I ever did in my prior role. And it's only 4 months onwards. I can't thank Ian enough for the systems he provided me and the confidence and the support as well after the actual business advisors course, which has helped me live the life of my dreams where I wanted to be.